Hi everyone, welcome to GoWISE. My name's Hailey and today we're gonna make some coconut cherry ice cream with our own homemade waffle cones. So step one, get your blender. We're gonna be using that today, and we're also gonna be using our air fryer to roast some of our cherries. I have 2 pounds of cherries pitted. So we're gonna take about half of them and we're gonna chop them up and then we're gonna roast them. We're just going to transfer all of these into the basket of an air fryer. I'm actually taking out the crisper tray. We don't really need it, so just empty. Just throw them right inside. So we're just going to take our cherries, pop them in here, and I'm just going to roast them, or you can use the bake preset, 350 for about 10 minutes, and we're going to see where they're at. So while those are roasting, we can kind of get everything done all at once. We're just going to combine the rest of our cherries carefully so you don't make a mess. So these cherries are what's going to make the flavor of the actual ice cream. The ones that are cooking are going to be like the nice chunks that you bite into. Then we're going to do 1 can. This is 15 ounces of cream of coconut. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of maple syrup or any other type of sweetener that you like. And we're just going to blend this until smooth. So we're just going to take this, and I have a loaf pan that I put a little bit of parchment in the bottom just for easier cleanup, and it looks kind of cute. We're just going to take the lid off, and we're going to put this in the freezer for 45 minutes just to get a little hard, a little firm. So it's been about 10 minutes. See what they look like. They're probably about halfway there, so I'm just gonna give them a quick toss around, and then I'm gonna go for another 10 minutes at 350. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, and these are looking pretty good. They're caramelizing a little bit. We're gonna let that get to room temp, and then we're gonna put it in the refrigerator until they're a little bit more firm. And in the meantime, we can do our waffle cones. So the only equipment that you're gonna need besides your actual air fryer itself is a small cake pan. This one is pretty tiny. We can probably go up to about 8 inches for this model. Step 1 is a 1/4 cup of sugar mixed with 1 egg. And we're just gonna whisk it until it's fluffy. Then we're gonna add the rest of our wet ingredients, which is 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, some melted butter, 2 tablespoons, and then half a teaspoon of vanilla. Combine those, and then lastly, a 1/4 cup of flour. So it's this very thin dough consistency, kind of like pancake batter. Take one of our pans, we're gonna spray the inside, and then I'm just gonna take a little bit at a time, because you don't want them too thick and you don't want them too thin, so you kind of gotta experiment with the right amount. And you're gonna move it around the pan just to try and spread it out as evenly as possible. Hopefully that's a good amount. And then we're gonna take our air fryer basket, put our crisper tray back in. We're going to put this in the center. And you only need 370 for about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on the thickness of your cone. Then 5 minutes. This is pretty good. The edges are nice and browned. So now we have to act pretty quickly because it's going to harden very fast. Some tongs. And I made a little cone with some paper and some tape. Do your best, people. Okay. If you can, try and close the bottom. If you can't, and you're a normal human, lay it flat on your surface and let it harden. That's it. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's still a cone and it'll taste amazing. In the meantime, I'm gonna melt some dark chocolate. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of coconut oil to this, melt it all up, and then we're gonna dip our cone into it. Just gonna take some sprinkles. I have some leftover from 4th of July, so they're red, white, and blue. I'm just gonna put sprinkle them right over the top. Ooh, and if you're lucky, the chocolate will harden around the bottom and you won't have to actually close the bottom up. So we have our ice cream. It has been chilling for about 2 hours now. It's just started to solidify. We don't want it to get too firm, but we do want it to be firm enough to hold the consistency of these chocolate and cherries. If we did just throw them in at the beginning when everything was like loose and liquidy, it would all just sink to the bottom and the only person getting the goods would be the last to scoop. So you had to wait a little bit. So here is what it looks like. Nice and firm. Still a little bit loose, but that's good, that's what we want. So I'm just gonna dump everything in and start to stir. And then we're gonna put it back in the freezer until it is frozen all the way through. So it's been about 4 to 5 hours and our ice cream is solid all the way through. Our cones are dipped in chocolate. They're set, they're nice and chilled, I guess. So I'm just gonna scoop into the cone and then I'm gonna do a little drizzle of chocolate on top. And that's it. I'm gonna try and see if I can do a whole bite that has everything in it. So it does have more of like a sorbet kind of consistency, but it's very sweet. Very cherry, very chocolate. Wow, this is pretty good. I just got a bite with roasted cherries in there, and that's a nice chewy, but also like a little crunchy from the skin. This is so good. Good job, Hailey. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.